Sexual disinterest. Hi, I'm Bec from Be Free Emotional Fitness Training, and I support women and girls to become emotionally stronger.
And I'm Vern from Move Forward Mentoring, and I specialise in male mentoring, helping boys and men find their passion, speak from their heart, and build better relationships.
And together we are rekindling relationships. We work with couples through mentoring sessions as well as facilitating communication and creative workshops to build deeper connections.
Welcome to our podcast, designed to help you strengthen and bring more fun into your partnership, as well as create a more loving, healthy, and strong connection. Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
So we're back looking at another issue with intimacy, and this one's sexual disinterest. This sort of ties together quite a lot of other ones as well, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much, as it reads, one party or both are disinterested in sex. It's not on the table anymore.
And some of the factors, I guess, that contribute to this could be that people find themselves in a situation where they may have a very young family and they're working full time and they've got lots of responsibilities and they're very busy, and then sex has become almost a chore or very much a last resort.
Yeah, it's low on the priority list.
Low on the priority list, or they even have to schedule it in. There's no spontaneity in that, and it becomes a little bit forced.
When you have little kids, they just take up so much of your time and energy, don't they?
They do. And you find yourself falling asleep with them.
Yeah,
trying to get them to sleep at night.
Trying to fall asleep at night. You're just exhausted.
Yeah.
So that's a really good reason to feel a bit disinterested in sex. You know, if you're working flat out and working lots of hours and work's your priority, then sex is, lower on the list. What else do you think are other factors to do with why people might be disinterested in sex?
I think we touched on it a bit in the last one. It could be things like medications that you're on, stress, even maybe if you've had some trauma surrounding sex as a young person has a big impact on how you view sex.
Yep.
There's multiple factors, isn't there?
There is. There's a lot of factors why people might be disinterested. Another thing could be different sex drives, and we covered this in one of our podcasts. Having a different sex drive, one person having a lower libido than the other, can actually cause an issue. One person's libido could be quite low, as you said, because of medications or work, or there's something else going on.
Or just the way they are.
Just the way they are. And then there's this mismatch between people's sexual drives and desires, so that they don't actually meet on the same page.
And then there also might become a bit of a pressure surrounding having sex, because you feel like your partner does want it, but you're also knackered and tired and got no interest in it. So then that becomes a bit of a pressure. Instead of a really fun thing that you do spontaneously, it becomes a scheduled, pressured thing.
Yeah, and then disapproval, as we've talked about in one of the other podcasts, in regards to issues with intimacy, that can bring disinterest. Being dissatisfied with the type of sex you're having can bring disinterest. Being disconnected and not feeling like there's a connection between you and your intimate partner can also breed disinterest. All of these things can create a situation where life just goes on, nothing's changing, and everyone's disinterested, and then it becomes this sexless marriage.
And again, like we said, I think this is quite a stereotypical scenario you find yourself in with young families when you've got a young family. How can you turn that around, I guess?
How do you create an interest in intimacy when you're tired and
there's
you're
kids
busy
in the bed,
and there's kids in the oh my goodness, there's kids everywhere. There's so many things going on in your world.
Yeah,
it's really hard. I really feel for people. Yeah,
and I think it's pretty normal to find yourself in that situation when you're a young family.
And even people who've been around for a long time, and the relationship's been going for a while, and they haven't maybe fixed things along the way, then that's created a circumstance where we're just not interested anymore.
Yeah, true.
There's other things.
It's not a priority.
It's not a priority. There's other things in our world which we actually find more enjoyable. But this actually does form more disconnection.
It does, yeah.
What do we do about it?
I think if you are in that situation where you are a young family, I think ideally date night should always be a high priority. Your relationship should always be a high priority, really.
Yeah.
As much as we put so much effort into our kids, the foundation for them being happy is you staying together and being happy together. And they see that beautiful example. And so that's why you need to put energy into that relationship so that they've got this beautiful foundation in a beautiful relationship. But I think sometimes we put so much energy into them and that falls by the wayside.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? We think that we have to focus all our energy on the family at the detriment of our relationship.
Absolutely.
Where when we focus our energy on the relationship as well as the family...
Well, you're stronger. You don't run the risk of your relationship breaking, and then the kids have the consequences of that, don't they?
Of course, always.
Yeah, and I think I found myself in that situation where you're a young family and you're so busy and you're so preoccupied with the kids and they're your life, and that's very much to the detriment of your relationship at times. So I think it's finding time to have those date nights, getting the kids babysat, and even if it is a bit like it has to be scheduled in weekly, it might have to be like that for a bit. I know that's not spontaneous, but at least it's setting time aside for your relationship.
To prioritise it, as you would if with work you'd set time. You have times you go to work.
That's right. Yeah.
And then even that idea of you scheduling things in. If you say, right, we're scheduling next Wednesday is our date night, whatever that means for you, then that means that on the way to that, you're still building that connection. You're still kissing and hugging and trying to reach out to each other. And we've talked about this in past podcasts. It's the reaching out for each other rather than reaching away from each other. When we reach away for our phones or technology or work or something outside of the relationship, then the relationship can suffer. You know, if there's got to be a balance, you've got to be reaching into the relationship and connecting with the person you're with and learning about them and understanding them better and having conversations. And when that's strong, you then spend time, and you've got to spend time on your phone. You've got to go and do things at work. It's okay. It's in balance.
And I think it might also be a little bit about making the most of small amounts of time you can have together when you're in this scenario and you're very busy with kids and work and all the things. It's about taking those small amounts of time where it might be just half an hour while the kids are occupied watching something. Go have a kiss and a cuddle together, or just have a coffee together and just be with each other. Or, they're at school and it might be going to meet your partner for lunch.
It could be that they have gone to bed, and rather than rushing straight into clean up and all the other things that we think, it's sitting on the couch and not just flaking out, let's just put on a show and just veg out. It's actually, okay, let's put our phones away. Let's sit here facing each other and just connect and just reconnect just a little bit. It doesn't take a lot to reconnect with someone as if there's no distractions, and technology is a huge distraction in our lives. We feel like we have to be connected all the time, and we don't.
And I think when people are in that situation, it is a bit about going back to the basics of connecting, taking a little bit of time out to reconnect. Like you said, how was your day? What's happening for you at the moment? Those kind of questions that we probably don't often do when we're that busy.
And if the problem is you're disinterested because you're not getting the sex you want, then it's a conversation with your partner. Maybe you want things to be a little bit more lively, a little bit more fun. Then there's a conversation there. And you can actually have that conversation and talk about, we should try this. Let's try some role play. Let's try something a little bit different.
What would you like to see more in the relationship, intimacy-wise? That's a good question, isn't it? You can put to your partner, create more spark.
And not just asking the other person, but also speaking into that space as well. It's not just one person's job to fix this. It's a team effort. As with everything, like you're raising a family, that's a team effort.
Absolutely.
If you're in a relationship, that's a team effort. Both people have to put the energy into that space. And I'm going to speak as a man, as I identify as a man, is that I don't always believe that men prioritize their relationships. I think they feel, I'm in a relationship, great, it will just go about its business. I can do the other things. The conversation about the relationship, well, you don't need to have one because you're in one.
Yeah.
And there's not that focus on it, where more women I know are likely to have conversations. They want to have conversations about the relationship, and they do that with each other because they prioritize that. It's one of the things that connects women, is talking about what's going on emotionally for them. It's not something I've seen as well with men. We don't connect emotionally with each other about relationships. it might be surprising to women to realize that men don't really ask their male friends, how's their relationship going? What's going on for them? What's happening inside them? How's their heart going? Are they feeling connected? We don't have those conversations. And because we don't have those conversations, we might not know how to have that conversation with you. We might not feel comfortable with this conversation at all. And we might have to actually have to be held a little bit in that side and say, this is something which is important to me for us to talk about this. And I'm hoping men out there, and I'm going to speak to men because I can't speak for anyone else. I can speak for me as a man, is I hope men hear this and go, maybe I just need to work a little bit harder in that space. If I can work a little bit harder to actually listen and hold space for my partner and show that I'm actually really engaged in this relationship, I want to be in this, then what will happen is they won't get to their 40s and 50s, and I see this happening in their 60s, and they've both checked out, but the woman has definitely checked out. The man just is like, oh, well, we're not fighting. Everything seems to be okay. And then the woman goes, I'm out of here. And the man goes, why? What's the problem? Because they haven't actually put any effort in. They didn't even realize, because they haven't had a conversation with their partner about the relationship in years, or maybe ever. You realize now that I believe it's part of everyone's inner knowing that we need to relate to another person on a deep level about what's going on for us and ask what's going on for them.
So today we've been talking about sexual disinterest, and if you find yourself in that position, what you can do about it. So please join us next time for
Sexual Disagreements.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow us.
And check out our website at rekindlingrelationships.com.
Bye for now.
See ya.